So as mentioned, the undocking has been initiated. The hooks holding the Progress craft in place, beginning to retreat back. Just under 2 minutes from now, expected physical separation of this Progress craft from the Piers docking compartment. Hooks continuing to drive, should be getting physical separation in just about a minute or so, at which point the Progress will slowly back away from the Piers docking compartment. 2 expedition crew members, Pavel Vinogradov and Fyodor Yurchikin, standing by inside of Zvezda at the Toru controls, just in case the automated core system on this Progress should fail for any reason. Everything's still looking good though, continuing to drive towards that physical separation at 3:44 p.m. Central. And physical separation confirmed at 3:43 p.m. Central Time. Progress now beginning to back away from the International Space Station. The separation occurring while the International Space Station was flying just over the far eastern portion of Kazakhstan, just above the northern border of China. Currently backing away at that rate of about 1/10 of a meter per second. So continuing to get some views from the television cameras on board this Progress craft as it backs away. It'll back away for about 3 minutes before thrusters on board the craft will fire for about 15 seconds to do a separation burn, increasing the distance between it and the International Space Station. But again, separation confirmed at 3:43 p.m. Central Time. The 50P Progress undocking from the Piers docking compartment on the Earth-facing side of the Zvezda service module on the International Space Station, departing with trash and other discarded items from the International Space Station. It'll make its way towards that separation burn point. Then about 3 hours from now, we'll begin its deorbit burn, sending it towards the Earth's atmosphere and eventual burn-up. That burn-up scheduled to take place about 40 minutes after that deorbit burn, which will be later tonight at about 6:53 p.m. Central Time. '50 Progress continuing to back away, everything looking good, no issues reported. The visiting vehicle officer reporting that the separation burn has initiated. Thrusters on the Progress craft will now fire for about 15 seconds. And now reporting that separation burn complete and done nominally, so everything going as expected. 50P now on its way away from the International Space Station. Again, Progress 50 spacecraft continuing to separate from the International Space Station following a physical separation occurring successfully at 3:43 p.m. Central Time. 15-second separation burn occurring 3 minutes later at about 3:47. Starting and finishing as expected, thrusters burning for about 15 seconds to increase the distance of this unmanned craft away from the International Space Station. The International Space Station now leaving view as the Progress craft continues to make its way um, from the International Space Station after separating from the Piers docking compartment. It'll continue to separate before getting ready for its deorbit burn, which will take place a few hours from now at about 6:53 p.m. Central Time tonight. That deorbit burn will be the final firing of the Progress thruster, sending it into the Earth's atmosphere for burnup, which will take place about 40 minutes after that initial burn start. So this unmanned cargo craft, Progress 50, continuing to separate away from the International Space Station, successfully undocked from the Pirs compartment on the Earth-facing side of Zvezda at 3:43 p.m. Central Time, 3 minutes after the undocking command had been given, and the hooks holding it in place had driven back. The station was just to the far east of Kazakhstan, just over the northern border of China. At that separation, following which the unmanned cargo craft backed away at about 1/10 of a meter per second before initiating its separation burn, thrusters on the craft firing for about 15 seconds, increasing its rate of separation to about 0.65 meters per second. The craft departing the International Space Station with various trash items and other discarded hardware no longer needed on board the orbital outpost, among them the first treadmill used by crews since November of 2000, making its way for destructive entry in the Earth's atmosphere. This clears the way for that Pirs docking compartment to see another visiting craft, the Progress 52, which will be launching later this week on Saturday, delivering more supplies to the crew of Expedition 36. As the craft moves out of the range of Russian ground stations, the camera on board beginning to lose signal, but the current station makeup you can see right here. Now just 3 vehicles docked for the next few days to the International Space Station, 2 crewed Soyuz craft and the unmanned ATV-4 resupply craft. All of that will change Saturday night, though, when another Progress, the 52P, launches from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan and docks to the now vacant Pirs docking compartment on the Earth-facing side of Zvezda. That 52P will be delivering just a little over 5,600 pounds of supplies total to the International Space Station, bringing up many of the same basic items that this 50P brought up back in February. Various propellant and oxygen, air, and water supplies, as well as dry cargo, which normally includes maintenance equipment and resupply items, and also experiment equipment for the various science research projects being underdone on board the International Space Station. For now, this 50P continuing to depart from that Pirs docking compartment. It'll continue at this rate until about 6:53 p.m. Central Time tonight, at which point its thrusters will once again fire for its final deorbit burn. About 40 minutes after that burn, the vehicle is expected to break up as it passes through the Earth's atmosphere and heats up to re-entry temperatures, breaking up somewhere over the Pacific Ocean.
Go ahead, Anton.
So again, 50P successfully undocking and heading towards its destructive re-entry.
Okay.
Everything going as expected. On board, 2 of the Expedition 36 crew members, Commander Pavel Vinogradov and Flight Engineer Fyodor Yurchikhin, were standing by at the Toru controls, the telerobotically operated system, which they could have used should the automated system on board the Progress have failed during that departure. That automated system known as the cores, used for rendezvous and docking as well. They were obviously not needed, but we'll be back at those controls again later this Saturday night when 52P approaches the station.
Moscow station on space to ground 1, cover day is closed. Okay, copy, Sasha, thank you. And we have a question. During the DPC, we didn't have time to ask. Did you do anything additional today? Additional? I didn't do anything. Pavel didn't do either, and Fyodor, I will have to ask Fyodor. Okay, copy that, thank you. Stand by 1, I will ask him. Fyodor did a con for 45 minutes, Anton.
Сколько?
How many minutes? 45.
Да, принял, Саш.
Okay, copy that, thank you.
Так, ну, все работы на сегодня выполнены.
And thank you for your support. So all the activities have been performed. Yes, thank you for today's work, and we wish you a good rest. I'm afraid you won't be able to do it, fully because of the debris, but, still try to have a good rest. Okay, thank you, and thank you for support. All the best.
Getting views from the external station cameras now as it has reacquired the KU signal from our tracking, relay, and data satellites. Flight controllers will play with the cameras a little bit, see if they can maybe get a view of the Progress as it's still departing from the International Space Station. But again, that successful undocking at 50P taking place at 3:43 p.m. Central Time today. Station itself right now flying a few hundred miles to the east of Japan, out over the central Pacific Ocean. Right now heading on a southeasterly track which will carry it over most of the ocean before eventually turning up and northeast again, just going over the southern tip of Chile and Argentina. there's a view of that departing Progress craft from one of the station's outboard cameras. See, already building quite a bit of distance between itself and the International Space Station. Currently moving at a rate of about 0.65 meters per second away. So a few different cameras picking up a view of this Progress craft as it undocked successfully. No issues reported from the teams both here in Mission Control and also in Koryov, Russia. A craft departing with various disposable items and garbage from the International Space Station for destructive re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere. Its next major milestone will be that deorbit burn, which will start at about 6:53 p.m. Central Time tonight, sending the Progress through the upper portion of the Earth's atmosphere, eventually burning up about 40 minutes later as it passes through some of the thicker sections of the atmosphere, heating the craft up and disintegrating it and all the contents on board. So while the 50P continues to fly away from the station, it is left vacant the Piers docking compartment on the Earth-facing side of Zvezda, preparing it for the launch just 2 days from now of the 52P resupply vehicle from the Baikonur Cosmodrome. It's an almost identical Progress vehicle which will be delivering about 2.8 tons of supplies to our Expedition 36 crew on board. continuing to get a view from the station's outboard cameras of this Progress 50 spacecraft, which has now departed from the International Space Station.